weapons programs after this weekend strike. But will this strategy work? Senator Lindsey Graham sits on the Armed Services Committee, confidant to the president quite often, and was disappointed by the level of military response to the heinous actions of the Assad regime. But first off, Senator, good morning.
Good morning. What's
on your mind today?
Well, number one, we've got a really good commander-in-chief in Donald Trump. He's taken the gloves off when it comes to fighting ISIS. Fire and fury rhetoric got North Korea to the table where no other president could. He's about to tear up the Iranian nuclear agreement because it's terrible, or get a better agreement. He has pushed back against the Russians. So generally speaking, Donald Trump is rebuilding the military. But what he did a couple of days ago puts all that in jeopardy, in my view, and he needs to reconsider his position regarding Assad and Syria.
We doubled the amount of strikes, over 100 instead of just 59. We did hit 3 separate plants. Judging by the video, we were successful. Yeah. But it turns out, according to the Wall Street Journal, the president was presented with 3 plans. He took the lighter one. The middle one is which many people thought he would have hit more Assad targets. Trump was quoted as saying he pressed his team to consider strikes on Russia and Iranian targets in Syria if necessary to get at Assad's equipment. Nikki Haley was on board with the president. It was Mattis that pushed back. Who's right?
Well, I think the president was right. Here's what happened. If you're Assad, you heard a president saying, I'm going to make you pay a big price. You're an animal. And what did Assad see? A military strike that didn't change his life at all. So Assad wakes up the next day and goes back to work. If you're Russia and Iran, you heard our Pentagon, risk-averse, deathly afraid of confronting the Russians. So if I'm Russia and Iran, I'm believing the American Pentagon is going to give us Syria without a fight at all. If you're ISIS, you heard we're going to leave, which means they're the only people in town to fight Iran. That's a recruiting bonanza for them. If you're the Kurds, you heard we're going to leave, which means they're going to get slaughtered. Lindsey Graham sees a very conflicted commander-in-chief. When Ronald Reagan had to deal with an issue like this, when Gaddafi killed 5 American airmen in a disco in Berlin, Ronald Reagan bombed Libya and tried to take Gaddafi out, killed a couple of his kids, but missed him. After that, Gaddafi was a different person. We missed a real opportunity here to get it right.
Do you think we do it again if there's some type of chemical attack? Are you concerned that we become a chemical weapons police instead of a military superpower?
Unless something changes, we don't care how you... We don't care if you kill people, we only care how you kill them, which is a long way from where Ronald Reagan was. Ronald Reagan believed in shaping history, not just washing your hands of it. There are 3 models for the president: leading from the front, Ronald Reagan; leading from behind, Obama; or isolationism. When it comes to Syria, we can't afford to give Syria to the Russians and the Iranians, because Syria become an armed camp for the Iranians, and you'll never destroy ISIS unless you get rid of the Iranian-Assad connection, because that's what keeps ISIS in business. So I hear that we're going out the door and we're dropping a few bombs on our way out, and that's an absolute disaster for the region.
Well, they could always change course,
I hope so.
And you have the access to find out. Senator, thanks for getting up with us from Clemson today.
Thank you.
All right, straight ahead, the DOJ doubling down, sending more letters to sanctuary cities demanding proof they're complying with federal law. So what's it going to take for these local leaders to get on board? We're going to ask the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner